Well, hello there and welcome back to my channel. Oh my gosh, it feels weird to be filming right now because I literally just posted my seam finishes video. Oh, by the way, if you're new here, my name is Casey and I'm the independent, wait, what is my title? If you're new here, my name is Casey and I'm the designer behind the independent sewing pattern company, Pattern Scout. And yeah, welcome here. I am actually going to be doing a vlog this week. I am leaving in a couple of days to go visit my family in Mississippi, and then we're also going to go on a little Easter weekend family vacay to the beach. And I'm excited to get some warm weather. As with any trip that I ever take, I always have a little bit of last minute panic sewing that I do because I have some outfits that I would like to wear. Today is Sunday. I want to do a couple of little sewing projects, so I'll show those to you now. Kind of show you what my plan is for the weekend. I leave on Tuesday. I know it's going to be a lot warmer there, so I kind of want to have some cute stuff to wear. And of course I got to make my stuff. So that is what I'm going to be doing this week. All right. So a long time ago, like over a year ago, I got a bunch of vintage patterns from the thrift store. And I mean, I got a lot, and I actually almost got a lot more. Some of these aren't vintage, but some of these I've already made into things. But I really want to make this little Skort pattern. I thought it was really cute. And I've got some green fabric here. This is just some linen that I picked up. I thought that'd be a really cute Skort. I definitely want to make this. Let me put this on the table here. I also have cut out a Racerback dress that I drafted. I kind of combined two patterns to create this dress. So I already have this cut out. I'll definitely work on this weekend and try to get it done before I leave. So whenever I am using a pattern, one of the first things that I do is pull out the instructions, kind of take a look at all of the different variations. So this particular pattern has a little tank top, a wrap skirt, and a skort. And I also want to look at all the pattern pieces and see what's involved with the pattern, how many pattern pieces I need. And I'll look over the instructions, see what the construction sequence is like, and then also try to find out things like, okay, what is the seam allowance? And sometimes that takes a little time to find. So let's see. And it's a little bit different on every pattern. Yeah, so in the sewing directions, they'll usually have it here. So it has 5/8 inch seam allowances here, unless otherwise stated, which is pretty standard for woven garments. One thing about this Skort pattern, it's a little bit different how it's constructed. I think that one side is actually unattached. So it kind of fits like a pair of shorts, but then it is attached at the side like a wrap skirt. So that may be something that is a little bit confusing about this that I'll have to kind of decipher as I go through this, but I think that's how it works because I think there's a waistband that attaches at the top here and then the shorts attached to the side. Like you put it on kind of like a skirt. I also kind of thought about hacking this so that it didn't have this little kind of gathered, ruffled skirt edge, because if you look at the pattern piece here, you can see that it kind of has like a little extra extension for that wrap front. I might actually end up trimming that down so it's just a very simple skirt edge. And then also I want to choose my size. One thing about these vintage patterns, and a lot of the big 4 pattern companies too, I think they're getting better, but they are notorious for not having super inclusive size ranges. So for this one, I'm right at the top of the size range for my bust and waist, but I'm actually outside of the size range for my hip. So this is a 40-inch hip is the max size here, but I'm actually a 43. But a lot of times these vintage patterns, they actually fit large, I've noticed, and I think this is pretty well known across the board that they tend to fit a little bit big. So what I'll probably do is measure the pattern and specifically measure the pattern at the hips and maybe even compare it to a pattern that I know fits me. And I might be able to just sew that size. If not, then I can probably add a little bit of extra ease to the pants if I need to. So anyway, that's my plan for this pattern. When I compare my skirt sloper to the back short, which is also part of the back skort, it looks like the size 14 would probably work okay for me and give me the kind of ease that I want. I'm gonna go ahead and do the size 16 just to give me a little bit extra ease because the skirt is quite fitted through the hip for me. But this is actually a really good example of how useful a sloper can be, and you can kind of compare it to other patterns. Like here I've got it lined up basically about where the seam allowance would be on this, since this is cut 2 and you'd have a seam allowance here. This is on the fold. So yeah, I've just kind of lined it up on here. I can kind of see that it matches up almost identically with the size 14. I'm gonna do a size 16 just to be on the safe side. And I'll do the same thing comparing my front skirt sloper to the front short piece just to make sure that the ease will work for me. So this pattern instructs you to sew the inseam of the front and the back together first before sewing the crotch seam. So I've done that. This is the front piece here, and as you can see on the front piece, this one is loose. So this is going to be kind of like the interior wrap portion of the Skort, which I've never actually sewn a garment like this before, so I'm kind of interested to see how it all comes together. So here are the two front pieces, the two back pieces. I'll sew the crotch together, and then I'll add the wrap for the front onto all of this. I went ahead and just like serged the edges of all of the pieces here at the out seam and the inseam. And then for the crotch seam, I'm just going to sew it regularly, and then I'll just finish it all, like both seams together with a serged edge. Well, I am just tickled pink with how this is turning out. This is super cute. Let me take out this little pin here so I can show you how this Skort works. So basically, you can see this side is loose on the inside, so it works just like a wrap skirt, but it's actually shorts. That just wraps around there. We'll attach over here. And that's how it looks in the back. The original pattern has like a kind of wraparound waistband that ties at the side. And here's the picture here. It had a lot more of like a kind of ruffly kind of feature here. I just trimmed the skirt so that it would be a lot simpler in the front, which I really prefer. And I may have to make a couple of little adjustments. I think I made it just a little too long. Maybe I might trim it, although it might be fine once I do the hemming. And I'm just gonna do a simple waistband and have it button on the interior and on the exterior instead of having the ties, so it's just a lot more simple silhouette. Also, I'm noticing, like, this is the Skort without a waistband, and the waistband's probably gonna be up here, so it's gonna be super high rise. I'm not positive I want it to be quite that high, but anyway, I think I've done enough on this today. I think I'm just gonna sleep on it and think about how I wanna do the waistband, if I wanna kind of trim this down a little bit, or maybe even do a facing waistband. But I may just do like a kind of added on waistband and then add the buttons. But I think that is freaking adorable. Hux, are you tired of me working? You got a string on your face. Oh my gosh. I know. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop now and go get some foods. All right, it is day 2. It is Monday. I leave tomorrow night. And anyhow, I'm gonna get back on this Skort pattern and I'm gonna do some hemming. I was looking at their instructions for a narrow hem, and they suggest to stitch at 5/8 inch all the way around, and then fold it twice, once to meet the stitching and then use the stitching as a guide for the second fold. And I basically just need to hem all the way around. But I might wanna try these on one more time and just decide on the length for these shorts. Okay, so I've got the skirt back on. I think I'm gonna do a little bit higher hem. I folded the hem up by 1 inch here. So I'll probably trim about, I don't know, 3/8 inch to a 1/2 inch off the bottom of the shorts and the wrap front, and just kind of taper that to the wrap edge, and then hem it, and then I'll start working on the waistband. Yeah, I was kind of trying this on, and I set it down just a little bit, like my belly button's right here. So I think I will go ahead with the original waistband and just make this extra high rise, because this is actually like a workout top, and I kind of like the way this looks with it. So if I had the waistband on, I could wear it with this top, and actually I think that'd be a really cute outfit with some sandals, not socks. So if you're having trouble getting around the curved edge without it being too waffly, a trick that I have for getting a nice smooth hem around a curve is to actually sew a row of basting stitches along the outer edge after you do that first fold, before you fold it over and sew it down. then you can kind of just gather this little edge in here, and it helps kind of fold that over without it kind of waffling, and then press it down and do the hem all the way around. So I did that on both sides, and this is laying nice and flat. I'm gonna give it a good press, and here is the other side. You see that looks great. And then I'll just try to pull out these basting stitches here. I left my thread tails long so I could pull those out, but if I can't get them out, I'm not too worried about it. I'll just trim them and leave them in there. Okay, so now I need to do the waistband for this thing. I've got all of the shorts and the wrap hemmed, and the pattern actually has the waistband separated into what, like 2 pieces here. I think it's because of the way that they want to create like a little slit opening in the side seam and have the tie go through the slit. I'm not going to be doing that, and I really don't need this much waistband because I'm not going to be doing ties. I'll refer to this for the width of the waistband, and I'll make sure to interface it, but I'm actually going to just measure the waistband from the interior wrap all the way around the waist to the exterior wrap here. I'm going to baste the waistband on and then try it on. It'll be a little bit of like trial and error, which is kind of, that's really how I like to sew anyway, is just kind of trying things on, seeing how it fits. If I have to, I may have to take it apart and kind of adjust the fit a little bit, but I'm okay with that. I have the waistband attached, and I've just folded it back over on itself and stitched right along the edge here, and then trimmed my edge and my corner. And when I stitched this down, I made sure to, if you look from this side, the edge that's going to be on the inside, it comes just a little bit past this so that it kind of overlaps the seam where the waistband is attached. So when I flip this over, I'll align the waistband on the interior, and I'll pin it from the exterior. This is the exterior side here that was originally stitched. I'll pin it from the exterior, but I want to make sure that on the interior that seam is underneath the fold, so the fold kind of overlaps the seam, and then from the exterior I will stitch in the ditch to adhere the waistband so that there won't be any visible stitching on this waistband. Alright, so I've got my waistband attached here. You can just barely see my stitching here that I did from the exterior in that seam line, and then on the interior you can see where I just caught the waistband. And actually, I have to say, this is one of my better stitch in the ditch waistbands. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Patting myself on the back shamelessly right now. So now all I need to do is add buttons. So I will put a buttonhole on this interior wrap here, and a button here at the interior waistband. I'll put a button on this side of the waist on the exterior, and a buttonhole on the exterior wrap. And then this skirt will be complete. Okay, so I've finished the linen skirt. Now I am moving on to this racerback dress. I combined the Elevate crop top from Green Style Creations with my comfy tee. I just kind of, laid down the comfy tee to kind of get the basic shape of the hips and the waist, and then did the crop top for the neckline shape. I ended up cutting 2 pieces for the back because I wanted to be able to kind of shape the center back over my butt. And anyway, so I'll sew those 2 together down the center back to create one full piece for the back. I've got the full piece for the front. And then I think I'm also going to try to do a little bra inside of this. I don't think it'll be super supportive per se, but I thought if I wanted to wear like a strapless bra, this would actually help with a little bit of extra support. Anyhow, so I'm going to do that. I've got the front piece, the back piece. I've got some elastic that I want to add to that. And I've also cut some pieces for the binding around the armholes and the neckline. I feel like this will go pretty quickly. I'm going to do most of this on my serger. I just need to change out my thread, and yeah, should go pretty fast. Okay, so now I have the main dress sewn together. It was pretty quick, didn't take me very long. And then I've also got the inside bra bralette kind of piece sewn together. I'm just going to put this piece inside here with the wrong sides together, so that, you know, the right side of this will be on the inside and the seams will be concealed between the two pieces. And then I'm just going to baste those pieces together around the neckline and the armholes so that they'll stay in place. And then I will install the bindings on the neckline and the armholes, and I'll just treat these two pieces as one piece once I get this all inserted. So I cut some elastic that was, you know, long enough to go around right under my bust, and just sewed that into a loop, and then I've attached it to this shelf bra piece in here. And to do this, I actually just pulled the shelf bra over the top. I've got this turned inside out, but I pulled it up over the straps, and then I sewed it with the elastic on the interior and did a zigzag stitch all the way around. Now I'm just gonna flip the elastic up like that, and I'll do another zigzag stitch so that it just kind of basically understitches the elastic to the little shelf bra piece here. Then when I flip that down, it'll have a nice finish on the interior. And there it is, all finished. So that's how it looks on the inside. This is all going to be on the inside, but the kind of raw, unattractive sewn edges are hidden underneath here. So got that sewn in. The only thing left to do now is to hem the dress, and I'm not sure how long I'm going to make it. I might sleep on it and do it tomorrow. But yeah, I'm very happy with this so far.
Your sweater's on inside out.